Hello, I'm Paul here. Today I kind of want to go over the topic of, well, I was going to use my phone for this, but I think I'll just rather talk about it. Which is the best option for somebody getting started? Is it HODLing Bitcoin or is it stocks? Specifically, when I'm talking about stocks, I'm just going to talk about the ones that interest me, which is the S&P 500, which is the same thing that Warren Buffett invested in a long time ago. And what he ended up doing is he got in it and he just compounded at a very young age. What I want to go over is which is the best to invest in long term. Now, if you're thinking of long term, I'm using an example of 5 years. And if you look at the Bitcoin over the last 5 years, you'll realize that Bitcoin has gone up tremendously in the last 5 years. So my recommendation for those that want to get big gains in the future, like 5 years from now, I would suggest using HODLing Bitcoin. If you're putting a focus on HODLing, I would choose Bitcoin for long-term HODLing. But for things like the S&P 500, if you go back to their charts and you see where it started, it has slowly, it's not as volatile as Bitcoin is, so when it does dip, it won't dip that bad to where your balance is going to be really noticeable. It dips a little bit, but not as bad as Bitcoin. So if you're worried about the volatility and you just want to put your money somewhere, if you can't stomach the dips, then I would suggest S&P 500, because with the S&P 500, you will gradually grow over time if you add even more to it. But what I would suggest is do both. Whichever one, if you can handle the volatility, then you can do Bitcoin. But if you want to slowly grow your balance over time, I would suggest the S&P 500. And that's just for HODLing. Doing options is a whole different thing. You would have to actually study charts for that. And I make videos and I show you strategies for that. But I do recommend learning about options and getting to a point of studying the charts, because options is where you really start. Options is where you can get the higher advantage. You can't do options with crypto, so you can blow up your account if you know and understand options. But for the sake of this video, for long-term, I would suggest, for long-term HODLing, I would suggest Bitcoin. For slow growth over time, I would suggest stocks like the S&P 500. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in future videos.